In this video, I'm gonna go over the exact process I've been using to scale multiple brands from just a few $100s a day net spend to $20,000 a day net spend profitably. All of it using Facebook ads, and I'll walk you through the creative process, how to actually increase the budget on the existing campaigns, and all the other nuances. So make sure you stick until the end because it's very important that you don't miss anything. And without further ado, let's dive right into this. All right, so in this video, we're gonna go over three things: when to scale, how to strategically scale your Facebook ads. So we're gonna go over the strategy. Also, we're gonna go over how to actually do that in the Facebook Ads Manager, so the media buying part, right? Cool. So this is very important, right? So when to scale, when do you want to actually scale, right? It only makes sense to scale something if it performs well, right? Because when you scale, you multiply your current performance. So it's very important that you have all the right things here in place, and you only want to scale when you're actually hitting your metrics, right? So let's say we're gonna go over the specifics in the future in this video, right? But it's very important that, say, you're optimizing for cost per purchase or customer acquisition cost, and it's like $30, right? So it's very important that that cost you're getting is less than that, and ideally it's way below than that. So because as you scale, it's gonna go up. That's just the nature of the game. But I'll show you what to do about it later in the video, of course. So the other very important thing is actually having enough data. We're gonna touch specifically what that means at the end of the video sometime, but this is very important to have that. So basically knowing your metrics, right? So when running Facebook ads, you wanna know what you can afford to spend to acquire one customer or get the sale from a new customer, essentially. So typically e-commerce has low repurchase ratio. So maybe it's like 1.3 or something, for smaller brands, right? Like bigger brands, you create a product, next year you create a different variation of product, you send an email to everybody. But typically all the companies in e-commerce, they start from direct response, except when there's like an influencer or something. So that means, when they do direct response marketing, which means they try to get that sale, try to be profitable, break even on the first sale. So it's more likely than not that you're in this position if you're a smaller brand. If you're a larger brand, you probably already know this whole thing, and you already know your payback periods, how many days, months, basically you'll get your money back from whatever you spend to acquire that customer, right? And how much you can stretch it, right? So maybe you have a different financing, like a bigger public companies can, just like issue shares, and they can afford like $300 CPA on like a $50 product, for example, because when they acquire a customer, that customer is going to stay for 5 years, for 10 years, forever maybe, right? So that's why you see all these banks, they give you like these, oh, sign up, you get $300. So their CAC is like astronomical. That's B2C, right? So with B2B, it's even different. So knowing your metrics is very important. Knowing your break even, how much you can spend to acquire one customer, essentially, that's what it means. If you want to scale something, you want to have like good foundation behind it. You want to have the product that works, because as you scale, there are going to be more reviews popping up, and we're going to touch on this. So you want to have enough stock, and you want to have it all planned out properly, and have your marketing automation system set up to increase retention and lifetime value. So email, SMS, automations, and a system that collects reviews. So they get a product, they use it a little bit, they get a wow effect, and then they leave a review, right? Maybe there's some incentive in place. So you want to have a customer support system in place, or ideally a system that prevents or eliminates most of the common things people will reach out to customer support. And you want to have low refund and return rate, or at least anticipate that it's going to be low. And then there's other things like finance, right? So if you spend money on ads, there's different credit cards you can use to get points, to get better terms. So like uncapped spend, maybe the first year they're gonna give you like 0% APY, so that's great. And obviously points and cashback. At the point of time right now, Amex Gold gives 4x points on ad spend, so that's pretty cool. If you have suppliers, most likely you do, you want to try to negotiate better terms. So maybe you can pay them once the product is sold, or pay them once the product is delivered, so you don't have to pay them before it's delivered, before it's even sent out. So that's gonna give you that faster cash conversion conversion cycle. I think Coca-Cola or Pepsi, they have like negative cash conversion cycle. So that means like it's like 30 days or whatever. Like they get money 30 days before they actually spend the money on everything, right? So that's very good. So that's one piece, right? So that's when to scale. The other part is like how to strategically scale your Facebook ads when you have a proof of concept, right? So let's say you have one campaign that is working. You have the how to scale your Facebook ads when you have a proof of concept. So one campaign is working, and use the creative types from that campaign, use the learning from that campaign, try to scale it that way. So essentially what that means is you can apply learnings from that campaign, and how much can you scale will depend on a few things. So audience size, problem intensity. So audience size, how big is your market, and then how big is the problem. Is this like a vitamin problem where you just want to improve things slightly, or is this actually like a urgent problem? So that will determine a lot of your scale, and then your lifetime value and how much you can spend. So basically like here it's essentially how much you can afford to pay to get a customer, and that means how good is your product, how high is your lifetime value, and all these things. And then that's how much you can scale. This part is going to be about strategy, and the first part here is segmenting and expanding your audience. What I mean by that, so let's say you have some ads that are working, and you have a campaign that is working, or like you have a product, and that product can be used for different audiences, and it potentially could solve different problems for them. So that's something you can do. So let's say you have a campaign that sells like a product that automatically cooks food for kids, and you sell it to moms, right? So you can sell it to moms, but you also can sell it to like office workers and say, hey, it's gonna automatically cook your food instantly, and so you have fresh food. So, and then you have like a different campaign, and you can just basically create a campaign for that audience. So like you want to find out what your like who your product can help and what it can help them with. And ideally you want to find how they identify themselves as, so audience identity, right? So because you want to talk to them specifically, and maybe you want to just call them out as well. That's a very important piece, of course. And then different geos, so different countries, different continents, different areas would speak the same language. So maybe you have a product that works in the US, you might want to scale it and launch it in, let's say, Australia, UK, New Zealand, all these countries, maybe Europe or Asia too. So that's that. And then different demographics. So let's say you have a campaign that works for one audience and it solves one problem. But you have different age groups in that audience, and they have different skin colors, maybe they have different genders. So that you can create a campaign specifically just for that age, skin color, gender combination potentially. You can start just like with let's say gender. Like there's this thing, it's called like gender, I forgot what it's called, but it's like somebody that can it's not gender, it's the ethnicity, like basically ethnicity, ethnical ambiguous people, for example, so that they can appeal to all sorts of different like a broad spectrum of audience. So if you don't have those people, then you might want to like segment and see like what are the like segments by demographics you have in your audience. And that typically would be good if you have UGCs working. So if you have any videos where it's like any ads with somebody talking to the camera or reviewing a product, and you actually can see the person, that it would make sense to create a campaign and try to optimize and scale by that, with that. And then there's awareness level. I think this one should be way higher up the spectrum. So we'll just kind of move it around. But there's different awareness levels. So Eugene Schwartz was talking about it. There's problem aware, and I think he was talking about it, but I made a few changes just because I think it wasn't as so this is better. this is more clear. So there's problem where aware and aware of other solutions, and also they're satisfied with those solutions. So this one's great because they have a problem. So they know they have a problem. They know that there's solutions in the market, and because they tried those solutions already and they didn't work, they're dissatisfied with those solutions, and they know why they did. That those solutions don't work. So this one's great because you can create ads like, hey, this is this it's like before and after ads, just contrasting other solutions with yours, and that's gonna like just 100% work. And then there's problem aware, and they're aware of other solutions, but they're not aware of those problems. The problems those solutions they're using create. So for this one, let's say, just like an example, for this one would be, let's say you have a toothbrush. You have a toothbrush, and you need to brush your teeth so they don't decay and all that stuff, and you can have them so you don't have to spend money on new teeth. And like, you have people, let's say they travel, right? And then when they travel, like, they have to bring that toothbrush, and it's like, it's wet, it's like just not usable. You have to also bring your toothpaste, and like, maybe it's like not super hygienic, and so you're like, you really don't like it. And then basically, you sell a toothbrush that actually solves all these problems. And so here it's the same toothbrush, but they haven't traveled yet, and you tell them like, hey, by the way, when all these teeth toothbrushes are great, but once you're gonna travel, it's not gonna work because of this and this and this. So you bring them kind of in the future, and you make them buy your toothbrush because it solves all this. So they're not aware of all those new problems those solutions create. And actually, all of the solutions create new problems. You want it or not. Maybe not all, but like a lot. So like you buy a phone, you need like a case for that phone, so you have a problem because it's gonna scratch and all that stuff, and there's like Apple Care, so all these things, and there is problem unaware and solution unaware. So that's very big market. So this is potentially smaller market, this is bigger market potentially, and this is even bigger market. And so people that are not aware of the problem and not aware of the solutions, or maybe they're, actually there's more to this, because they're gonna be, like solution aware. So solution aware and solution unaware. So you just kind of hear, if they're solution aware, you just kind of like want to disqualify other solutions. So disqualify other solutions, and basically position your solution as the best. And so, this type of audience requires a lot more education and longer process of converting them into a customer. And that's gonna be really different the way you want to communicate to them versus these guys. But basically, if you create campaigns, if you just take, you have a proof of concept, and then you just create a campaign for each of these, or maybe you can combine these potentially. So aware and unaware, yeah. So you can combine, but like create 3 campaigns here, and that you can scale that way, right? And so we touched on this, and then there's different placements. So there's feed ads, and then there is so you can create, you can use the same concept of what's working, the same campaign that you found that's working, and then you can just create different campaigns. So you can create creatives, so you can create different campaigns with different creatives. So like carousels, content that works in reels, like a campaign for images, campaign for videos, or both, or maybe catalog ads. And that way you just, you increase your reach, because different people spend different times on different platforms, and also different placements. So some people like to just scroll feed, some people like to go through stories, some people pretty much that. Maybe some people go to like marketplace, or all the other different ad placements. So if you can make those ads placement specific, that would be really helpful for you. And and then this one is very, very important. So this is testing different offers for the same audience. And so this is kind of part of the CRO, but it's essentially, let's say you have like one product, and you have let's say like some supplement, and if you can just like bundle it all together and like have and sell like three bottles of supplements at once, you're gonna increase your average order value, and you can allow yourself to pay more to acquire each customer on average, and you can increase your ad spend. So this one is very, very important, extremely important. This one is super important. So and then optimize the CRO. So this one is also very important. So let's say you found an ad that talks to single moms, and the problem is like no time to cook, and you sell them solution to this problem. So if you want to make a landing page, talk to them, speak to them, and the headline, especially the headline, it's very important, and the content and the reviews, all of it should be about them. So that's the other part. Right now, once you found the campaign, there are multiple campaigns that are working, how do you actually scale them? How do you increase the budget? So the way you do it is, before increasing the budget, you want to make sure your CPA, or cost per sale, cost per purchase, whatever cost per action you're optimizing for, is not a fluke. So it's real. And the way you do it is, in the ads manager, you just want to look at the breakdowns by day, or like the chart, and you want to look at the performance over the last few days, and you want to compare the performance week-over-week performance, if you have the campaign running for longer than a week, or like 2 weeks. And because like sometimes some ads perform on some days better than others, and there's like sometimes a very clear pattern. And if you, let's say, look at like just last 3 days compared to the previous 3 days, it could be just like a day of the week, right? Day of the week, and it could be not performing because of that. So you want to look at least 4 days. So at least 4 days, and ideally 7 days of data. And you'll want to look at it and see if the CPA holds and is stable over time. And if it is, then you can scale, increase the budget. So how do you actually increase the budget? There's actually 2 strategies based on your risk appetite and budget tightness, right? So there's slower and faster. So slower, you can increase it by like 20-50% every, let's say, 4 to 7 days. At lower budgets, you can be more aggressive. And so, if it's like $50 a day, you can double it. You don't have to like do it by, increase it by 20%. So that's going to take forever. And then there's a faster way, which essentially is doubling your budget every week. So here how it goes, right? So let's say you have like $50 a day budget, you double it to 100 days budget, and then wait 4 to 7 days, you double it to $200 days day budget, and then wait 4 to 7 days, double it to $400 a day. And you look at it like, if CPA holds, if the cost per new customer or cost per new sale holds, and it's gonna for sure increase. And that's why you want to have that like a little bit of margin. So you have a campaign that's been performing well, and you like it, and you want more revenue, more profits, and you just want to basically like increase the budget, and then see how much your revenue increased, how much your profits increased, and then if it did increase, you can double it again. And then after you reach, let's say, 1K a day budget, you can like bump it by 10 to 20%. And by the way, the CPA metrics, or the the CAC, the break-even customer acquisition cost metric, is in the ads manager, it can be very misleading. So again, make sure you cross-reference it with what's actually happening in your business in terms of revenue. And we touched on this. So the CPA will go up every time you increase the budget, and it will go up by about 3 to 20%. And it might jump significantly in the first day when you actually do it, or the day after when you actually increase the ad spend, right? When you increase the budget, but it should theoretically slow down and stabilize over the next, I'd say 3 to 7 days, conservatively. And if it doesn't stabilize and you don't like the cost, you can always go back and you can always reduce the budget back down to the original level. And then the last part is, you can scale the existing campaign by lowering the CPA, right? So, and to do that, you can create new text variations, new text opening variations. So like the first line that people see, the first line of text that people see, just test that. That could increase, could increase everything for you and decrease CPA basically by a lot. The headlines also, and then different video openings if you have a video ad that is performing the best, or if you have image, just different image styles, different image, copy, so image, copy, text, right? And things like that. If you got so far in the video, you have everything you need to start scaling your Facebook ads profitably. But if you're running Facebook ads, it's essential that you can find and create high converting ad creatives. So go check out the video where I show you exactly how to do that. It's on my YouTube profile. Also, if you're a business owner who's looking to scale your brand through Facebook ads, my team and I help e-commerce brand owners build and scale Facebook ad campaigns profitably, all done for you. So if having us to scale your Facebook ad sounds interesting, book a call using the first link in the description. And if you found this video valuable, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And thanks for watching.